Shark Tank judge Aman Gupta's boat is everywhere, from your Instagram feed to your ears. It is one of the most visible name in India's audio and wearable market. But behind all the buzz, celebrity endorsement and flashy campaigns, एक बड़ा सवाल गूंज रहा है, क्या बोट सच में कोई टेक कंपनी है या फिर बस एक ब्रांडिंग का खेल जो पैकेजिंग से लोगों का दिल जीतता है? With its parent company Imagine Marketing filing a revised DRHP for a 1500 crore IPO, investors are now seeking some tough questions. बोट सच में इंडिया में बनता है या बस पैकेजिंग इंडिया की है? ये अपने प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं या सिर्फ चाइनीज सामान रीब्रांड करके बेचते हैं? अगर सब कुछ आउटसोर्स होता है तो टेक्नोलॉजी किधर है? बोट की क्वालिटी इतनी इनकंसिस्टेंट क्यों है? क्या ये IPO बस पुराने इन्वेस्टर के एग्जिट के लिए है? So where are boat products actually made? So this is the chart of Imagine Marketing, which is the parent company of boat. Their overseas sourcing. Now, as per their DRHP, company majorly source from three countries. One is China, second is Hong Kong, and third is Vietnam. Now, as per this data, the sourcing was around 70%. In FY23, it has gone down to almost 32%. And now the company claims that in FY25, this is around let's say 39%. But this data is on the units, on the stock. This is not in value. So company has not given the data in terms of value. I'm sure these percentages will be different if you take the value of goods imported from these countries. Imagine Marketing और बोट कंपनी का कहना है कि अब उसने अपनी प्रोडक्शन स्ट्रेटेजी को बदलकर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की मेक इन इंडिया इनिशिएटिव के तहत मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पर जोर दिया है। लेकिन असली सवाल ये है, क्या बोट सच में इंडिया में मैन्युफैक्चर कर रही है या सिर्फ असेंबली हो रही है? जैसा आपने एक पहले चार्ट में देखा कि कैसे ओवरसीज जो सोर्सिंग है वो रिड्यूस हो रही है, एंड इन द लास्ट 3 years it has gone down. Now let's look at the domestic manufacturing trends. ये भी DRHP में कुछ numbers कंपनी ने दिए हैं. First is the unit manufactured in India. So this is 23, so 39%. Then it has gone up and is around 70% today. They have a joint venture, this Californex joint venture, and they are claiming that almost 40% is coming from this JV which they have. So still, if you look at the balance part, almost 60% they are dependent on other manufacturers or other vendors. So JV is taking care of only the 40% of the domestic manufacturing which they are doing. Again, this data is in units, not in value term. Now again, they have not given any clarity on whether these are the finished products or whether they are assembling these things in India. And let's see what are the other competitors doing. Noise, I mean, they uses EMS player, but it is building software capability in fitness and health wearables. We have other big players like Realme, OnePlus, Samsung, and many have dedicated EMS partners, but co-develop products or localize hardware and the software part. Now, since the boat is focusing a lot on manufacturing in India, let's look at what exactly they are doing when they are saying that we are focused on making it. Now first, let's look at the manufacturing model in India. Contract manufacturing. So they don't own the factories, so it's very clear, it's a very asset light model, and they believe in contract manufacturing. So everything which the boat is selling today is being manufactured via contract manufacturing. Type of partners, Indian EMS, electronic manufacturing service provider. So they have this one JV which we talked about, where within India 40% of the sourcing is happening through their JV. Rest 60% is through this electronic manufacturing. Ownership, no mention of fully owned manufacturing unit, all via third party contract. Even the JV is the 50-50 JV. It's not majority owned by Imagine Marketing or the boat. Nature of engagement, strategic partnership with the Indian EMS companies, which we saw here, and outsourcing assembly and sub-assembly. Now, which are the product manufactured in India? One is the audio devices, wired and the wireless, power banks, cable and wearable has been added recently. But if you look at this company, is majorly a single product company today. The most of the products that are sold is the audio devices. I mean, the majority of the revenue is coming from audio, devices. Manufacturing strategy, progressive shift of product categories from China, other countries to India. Objective of this shift, reduce import dependence. This is what the company has said. Leverage, PLI scheme. But again, it's very surprising. I mean, they are not manufacturing on their own, but they are talking about leveraging, PLI scheme. Improve lead times and cost control. And finally is the execution mode. Increase share of domestically assembled, manufactured product to 70% by FY 25. So DRHP में ये कहीं भी साफ तौर से नहीं बताया गया है कि IPO से मिलने वाले पैसों से R&D या इनोवेशन पर कितना हिस्सा खर्च किया जाएगा। 500 करोड़ के फ्रेश इशू में जो 1500 करोड़ का इशू है, तो 1000 करोड़ तो ऑफर फॉर सेल है। 500 करोड़ का जो नया इशू है, फ्रेश इशू है, जो पैसा कंपनी में आएगा, में से किसी भी अमाउंट को खास तौर पर रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए एलोकेट नहीं किया गया है। तो इट्स वेरी क्लियर, ये पैसे मार्केटिंग, वर्किंग कैपिटल और डेट रिपेमेंट जैसे कामों के लिए इस्तेमाल होंगे, टेक डेवलपमेंट या इनोवेशन के लिए नहीं। तो ये बहुत क्लियरली उनके DRHP पे ये दिया गया है। नाउ लेट्स लुक एट दिस JV वेयर दे हैव a 50-50% पार्टनरशिप। लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ a JV they have and how this JV is performing. In FY22, it set up a JV called Caliphonics Tech and Manufacturing Private Limited, and this is a JV with Dixon Technology. And Dixon is one company, in the stock market where there is a lot of interest, and company gets a very high, PE because this is into, contract manufacturing. So this JV is to produce, Bluetooth-enabled audio products, and alongside Caliphonics, which now has a monthly capacity of over 2 million units, boAT or this Imagine Marketing also relies on a network of third-party contract, which we talked about earlier. The manufacturers across India to meet its, production needs. So let's look at the strategic purpose. The purpose is to support boAT's, Make in India shift without owning factories. The business focus is to manufacture of audio products, wearable, power banks, and other accessories. Ownership we have already talked about. It's a 50-50% ownership split between the partner, and this was established in 20. Now this is a very important chart on the capacity utilization of this JV. Like company keeps talking about this Make in India, but let's look at how company is utilizing the capacity here. In India. Now, installed capacity, if you look at, is 30 million units, and if you look at FY24, the available capacity was around 8.71, million units, and actual production was only 2.53 million units. So the capacity utilization is just 30%. Now coming to FY25, again, installed is 30 million. This available was 13.44 million units in FY25, and they did only 6 million units. So it's around 45% capacity utilization, which is very low. Now if you look at the Q1, the capacity utilization is just 10%. So इस केस में low capacity utilization का मतलब है कि प्लांट अभी अपनी पूरी ताकत से ऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा है। ये जरूरी नहीं कि कोई बहुत नेगेटिव बात हो, खासकर जब कोई फैक्ट्री नहीं हो या कंपनी ग्रोथ फेज में हो, लेकिन इससे कुछ रिस्क सामने आते हैं। नंबर वन इज द कॉस्ट एफिशिएंसी, कम हो जाती है। डिमांड को लेकर अनसर्टेनिटी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है और प्रॉफिट मार्जिन पर दबाव आ सकता है लो कैपेसिटी प्राइस। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ इसका एक पॉजिटिव एंगल भी है, अगर डिमांड बढ़ती है तो ये प्लांट बिना ज्यादा नए इन्वेस्टमेंट के प्रोडक्शन तेजी से बढ़ा सकता है, यानी अपसाइड पोटेंशियल भी काफी है। boAT's IPO is big, is around 1500 crore, and only 500 crore is coming to the company, and we have seen they have not allocated any money for R&D. It talks about working capital, repayment of debt, and other thing, marketing and branding and all, but there is no mention of money being allocated to R&D, which is so core to this business. The truth is, most products are still made by third parties, not boAT-owned facilities. Tech claim exists. I mean, they talk about boAT labs, Crest OS, Dolby tie-ups, but core manufacturing and IP remain outsourced. And this is a very asset-light model, great for scale but dependent on vendors for delivery and quality. Aman Gupta's boat appears to be India's smartest marketing machine, wearing a tech hoodie. And in case you are considering investing in this IPO, I suggest to consult your financial advisor.